What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about the best Alliance Wars teams for offense. We're going to mention 15 of them. We're going to talk about the best places where to use them and a few alterations that you can do to some of them. So this is going to be somewhat of a long video. It's probably requiring like 20 minutes or so to talk about all of these teams. And if you use these teams, you should start being very successful on Alliance Wars. Alliance Wars right now, because of the rewards, is one of the best game modes in terms of obtaining value to your account and for the value of your alliance. And this is something that is going to be extremely important if you are playing this game and thinking about the long term. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content and make sure to smash that like button. Before we start, I know that some people will mention already, what about Alliance Wars defensive teams? Well, let's be honest, usually Alliance Wars defense is not as important. If you win on offense, that's going to be usually better. And the cleanest you do, the better. The less failed attacks you do, the better. And then only after you have your offense figured out, then you can start thinking about defense. Okay, so let's move on. By the way, if you guys want to know which rank we are right now, we are both top 20 and in Alliance Wars and in raids, which is pretty great. We won from the last 80 Alliance Wars, we won 79 times, so we lost only one time. And it was because it was a party weekend, so yeah, it was not the best, but yeah, from 80 Alliance Wars, we only lost one time. Okay, so we're going to talk about the teams, right? The teams are sort of in the order of value, and I'll explain why some teams are before others. So Nowhere right now is the best team, and you can plug and play certain characters on this team and giving it even more value. For example, you can send Cosmo to the Shadow Realm, and instead you can use Quicksilver or Super Skrull or Apocalypse or even Doctor Doom, and the value of this team is going to be much higher. It's something that it's unfortunate that Cosmo is on this team because he's such a trash character. And once again, if you bring some other character with more value, it's definitely going to be super impactful when you are facing these super meta teams right now in Alliance Wars. After that, we have Gamma. Gamma is so high, even that there are other teams right now, because they are part of the Apocalypse meta and because you are more likely than not to have them bigger than any other team. You can also replace Hulk with some other character in order to make them more powerful. For example, Apocalypse. It will allow you to have more health, more damage, and also charge up a Red Hulk faster, and also make your Apocalypse to go faster. So that's another great combination that will allow you to destroy a lot of most of the teams on defense of your enemies. Okay, now we have the New Avengers, and while the New Avengers is a very good team, they are way better on defense than they are on offense. Because, let's be honest, on defense they get more stats, they get more health, more focus, more damage, more defense downs and disrupts, depending on which room they are. So they're gonna be way better on defense than they are on offense. On offense they can still punch up quite a lot against certain teams, but if you don't put some big investment on them, they're gonna fall apart quite fast. One thing you can do with them is also remove certain characters to replace with other characters. We are not gonna talk about that in this video. We might talk about that next week or the week after, but it's something that you should take into consideration. But once again, this is one of those teams that, in my opinion, is just better to have them on defense. Okay, now we have Secret Defenders, and this is without Photon, and the reason why it's without Photon is because this team has huge amount of flexibility. You can slot in one character like Apocalypse or even Spider-Man. It doesn't matter pretty much which character you slot in. Or if you are facing a very difficult, very powerful team like Gamma with Apocalypse, you can slot in the Zombie Iron Man and Hela. This is right now something that you can do as soon as Zombie Juggernaut comes to the game. It will have less value, but overall it's still a great combo that opens a lot of doors whenever you are facing Origami Apocalypse or Darkhold Apocalypse or Secret Defenders with Apocalypse. It's definitely something that you should pay attention to in order to destroy your enemies, and once again having 1 or 2 slots to pair up on this team is quite amazing. Then we have A-Force. The A-Force team is very good. In the past I was not a big fan of them, but after their recent rework and with the addition of Photon, the value of this team is huge. They are probably top 5 in terms of Alliance Wars because of all of their effects and the ability of removing negative effects and so on. And even with small investments they can punch up gigantically against big meta teams like, for example, Weapon X on defense or Dead Seed on defense, even without crazy buffs that they have going on because they are mutants and so on. And the A-Force can also destroy easily Gammas on defense, which is still something that we see quite a lot. After that we have Weapon X. Weapon X is still a great team to use on offense. Some people are using them on defense because of the bonuses they get because of mutants, but overall it's another team that if you slot in certain characters, if you remove, for example, or Wolverine or Sabretooth, this team is going to have even more value, and it will open a lot of doors. I think some people don't really realize, or maybe they didn't invest back in the day on Weapon X and they don't really see the value of them. And a lot of people are misusing them, for example, against lower value teams like Young Avengers, and that's not a good thing. So it's unfortunate that people are underplaying them, but maybe with Dark Dimension 6 and with the fact that Lady Deathstrike and Omega Red are very powerful on that game mode, maybe more people will start investing on them and finally get to see the value of them. Okay, so Infinity Watch, another great team on Alliance Wars defense, but they're also amazing on Alliance Wars offense. They can beat pretty much any kind of Black Orders or Wakandas or Dead Seeds or even Unlimiteds. Like they can beat so many teams, and this is because they start with defense up and immunity. They are great to use on Reactor. It's one of my favorite teams to use on Reactor because even if we have disrupt or defense down, it's not going to affect us. Reactor and security, of course. And it's also a team that has some characters that are usable in Dark Dimension 6, and because of that people might feel motivated to invest on them more, even that they are sort of old team, but they still hold a lot of value. They are also one of the best options for you to use against the Heroes for Hire, those versions that have Absorbing Man or Bishop or Captain America or Red Guardian or whichever is the pre-taunting tank that is fashionable right now. They will still destroy those teams way better than other teams like Dark Hunters. Okay, now you have Underworld. Underworld, in my opinion, is a great team against any kind of team that doesn't have immunity on spawn, right? If the enemy team does not have immunity on spawn, you can ability block one of the characters, you can blind the other ones, and the amount of assists and counterattacks that they do can completely destroy the enemies, and you only need 1 or 2 characters to be geared up well, which is going to be Taskmaster and Mr. Negative. The other characters actually don't have to be that geared up, but still they are going to destroy a lot of enemies. There are a few ways how this team can be countered, whether it is with Kestrel, whether it is with characters that benefit of killing minions and so on, or that immune to blind. So you still have to pay attention to that, and also be careful against characters like Echo or like Dark Beast, maybe, that have assist mechanics that can stop your abilities. Not Dark Beast, I'm talking about Morgan Le Fay. So it really depends on the situation, because some teams can counter these ones because of those assist mechanics, depending on the size. Other teams not so much. Black Order. Black Order is surprisingly good. For example, right now it's very popular to see Val and Heroes Guardians on defense, and the Black Order completely annihilates them. Other teams like Invaders, Black Order destroys them. Other teams like New Warriors, a lot of these C-tier Alliance Wars defensive teams get absolutely obliterated by Black Order, so it's a great way to use them. On top of that, you can also replace one character here or two, or Proxima Midnight or Corvus Glaive, depending on which one you prefer. And you can slot in or Doctor Doom, or Apocalypse, or Dormammu, or whatever you want, and they are going to be much better. The fact that now you can slot in one character or two, it's going to be huge for the value of your Black Order, so keep that in mind. Black Order is a lot better than people think, and especially if you are using this ability to slot other characters in. Now we have War Dogs or Wakanda, M'Baku with Bashenga, with Nakia, depending on how you want to play it. This team still has huge value in Alliance Wars, and they can do some pretty cool things. They are not as good as they were in the past, but they are still able to counter Dormammu and any kind of other teams related with Dormammu. In case you have Nakia, if you don't have Nakia, they can still destroy or Invaders or Rebirth or all kinds of these C-tier teams for Alliance Wars, even Unlimited, the different versions of them, and still provide a huge value for your team. They are only required for Gamma Raids right now, so this might be one of those teams that not everyone wants to invest in. Okay, now we have Tangled Web. So Tangled Web with Kang. This team right now is huge. They can counter a bunch of other teams, including Infestation. We're gonna make a video about that in the near future. I made a few alterations based on what other people are using. Made a few alterations, and they have a lot more value now. But like I said, we're gonna talk about that in the near future. Okay, so Undying with Iron Man, Zombie Iron Man, and also with Juggernaut coming up very soon. This team, just as a 3-piece, they can pretty much destroy all kinds of teams in Alliance Wars. And of course, if you slot in 2 more characters, where it's gonna be like Eternals or something like that, you are still gonna have huge value coming from them. And we'll see what the future will bring, because they definitely have some insane value, and we'll see how much we can squeeze from this lemon to make a good lemonade for Alliance Wars. Okay, the last 3 teams we're gonna talk about, 2 of them are commonly seen on Alliance Wars defense, but depending on where you are in the game, you might switch some of these teams to offense instead, and this is going to be Dead Seed and Darkhold. We also have here Eternals with Loki, Sylvie, and Crocodile Loki, and this team with the Eternals, Loki and Sylvie, this is actually quite good. They can completely destroy other Hero Asgardian teams, they can destroy Rebirth, they can destroy Invaders, all these kind of C tiers or even B+ tier teams. They are going to be able to destroy them fairly easy and at a decent speed. Okay, on top of that, we have Dead Seed. Once again, Dead Seed can be used quite often on defense because of all the buffs that mutants have these days. And some people like to replace one of the characters, usually Psylocke, with Apocalypse, which is something that it's nice to have, but in my opinion, it's kind of a waste. People are doing it anyway, but yeah. I'd rather have them on defense with all the extra buffs. And finally, we have Darkhold. Darkhold was very common on defense in the past few metas for Alliance Wars, but as we move forward, they start being more and more of an offensive team because they get so easily destroyed by all these new teams like Nowhere or New Avengers and so on. Okay guys, so those are the 15 teams that you can use right now on Alliance Wars. Of course, that you should just use 10 of them and keep the ones I said that you choose on defense and adjust accordingly depending on your meta. And this is going to be what we can do for now. We're going to try to make some videos for Alliance Wars next week and the weeks after, just to show you a few of the examples that you can use in terms of combos to once again squeeze a little bit more juice out of these teams. Okay guys, so that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.